All right, guys, welcome back to the next video. Many of you have been asking this question. How do you begin a career as a merchant mariner? How do you get jobs on the ships? How do you get that job? How do I start working on a ship? Can I work on a ship? Every time I turn around, I get these questions. So what I wanted to do, and I told many of you guys I made a video in the past, a couple years ago. It's still on the channel, still relevant information, but I'm making a new one. Videos on YouTube tend to get buried, so we're going to jump right into it. How do you become a merchant mariner if you're interested in this industry? And before we touch on all the different things, I've got a sheet of notes here, so if you see me look down, I tried to write down a lot. I got 2 whole sheets of notes just so that I don't forget anything. I know how to do this, obviously, because I do it. However, I don't want to forget a lot of the things that I want to make sure I remember to tell you guys. But before we get started, what is a merchant mariner? A lot of you guys might be interested. And in this video, I'm basically speaking to a lot of young guys. Some people are not so young anymore. You can start this career just as well. It doesn't matter if you're 30, 40 years old. You can make a career change. That's not a problem. Go for it. But what is a merchant mariner? You might have heard from people, so I just want to make sure you know what it actually is. We're just civilians who work on ships at sea. We're mariners. So that's what it is. The benefits of it, you have the freedom to work when you want, how much you want to work. You can work more or less. You can travel the world, meet people from different places, and an exciting career and a good paying career. So those are the pluses. But I've also made video on my channel, basically talking about the pros and the cons, which I encourage you to check that out before you dive into this industry. Check it out. I have a video that's, the pros and cons about it that I published, I think, about a year ago. So check that video out as well. It might be helpful to you guys on the channel. Anyway, let's go right into it. So what you need to do, a lot of people say, can I become a mariner without going to school, without training? You can. However, it's a lot harder to get started that way. It requires a lot more patience. I will tell you that. The way you would do that is you still need to get documents, which I'm going to mention here in just a moment. You still need to meet the requirements to become a mariner. But you can do that. You can join the union, or one union I'll mention in a moment, as the lowest entry seniority, and you can't be picky at all. You're going to take whatever job they give you whenever it's available. You might wait for a while too. There's no guarantee. It is harder, it requires more patience, but right now actually is the best time if you want to do it that way, because there seems to be a shortage of manpower for the ships. So if you want to do that, right now it's probably about the best time I've ever seen to do that. So that's a good note. So to become a merchant mariner, there's documents that you need to get, and I have a list right here. Before you get started, what you're going to want to do, your first thing you need to get is obviously a U.S. passport. And I am talking about, let me be clear, a merchant mariner for USA flagged vessels in this video, because that's what I know about. I don't know overseas how they do it. They do it different ways, I know that. But this is USA flagged merchant vessels, what we're talking about for U.S. citizens. But you need to apply for a passport. That's number one. And all these things that I mentioned in this video, in the description section of the video, I will put links to when I mention a school or when I mention another website. You don't have to stop the video and write it down. I will put it in the description section of this video. You can go back later and write all the links down to the things that I'm talking about. But go and get a passport. Number one, it's very easy to apply for one, and it might take a couple months nowadays. It's a little bit longer than it used to be. So get started. Do that right away. You can go to a lot of the United States Post Office branches offer the passport services, where you go, they give you the documents, whether it be a renewal or an original passport, your first one. There's a different document. They'll give that to you to fill out. They'll help you, give you information. Some of them even will take the photos right there for you for the passport, and then you just mail it off and you'll get your passport. I don't know how long it takes, but the passport, I think it's about $130. I looked it up. And if you want a card as well, $30 more. But you only need the book unless you want a card as well. But the book is what's required. I think $30 now. So do that. Second document you want to apply for is a TWIC, TWIC, which is a Transportation Workers Identification Credential. And the fee for that is $125.25. And you need that to basically any port you go to get on and off of ports and a lot of other places nowadays, not just for mariners, but a lot of transportation workers, truck drivers all need this. You're going to need that. So you can go and apply for that. The website where I go to the National Maritime Center's website. This is a website you definitely want to bookmark. I will put a link in the description section. That will probably be the first link because this website is invaluable. It has information on how to get all these things and checklist, and then how to pay for it. Everything, the forms you can download for your physical, all these things are on there. National Maritime Center, search that, and you can see how to apply for the TWIC. And the next document is called a Merchant Mariner Credential. Now, if you go to a training school that I'm going to mention in a moment, I believe they'll help you get that while you're at the school, but you need to apply for the TWIC first. Get that and your passport applied for. And go to the National Maritime Center website, and you'll find information on TWIC and all these things, how to apply, where to apply, and you apply it and you'll get that. That shouldn't take too long to get. It really shouldn't. I don't believe that takes very long to get. But the Merchant Mariner Credential right now is a little back up. It's taken at least a couple months to get that. So if you're not going to go to the school and train, or any school, you're going to want to apply for that as well. National Maritime Center website. You go to right where it says Merchant Mariner Credential. You click on it. It tells you exactly what you need to do to apply for it. You're going to need to submit your physical that you're going to take and all these other things. There's a checklist right there. It tells you what you need to submit to apply for this. It's going to be the application form. You'll show, I think, a copy of your TWIC. It's all on the website right there. So you check that out, and you're going to have to submit the physical that you're going to have to take. And that leads to the next thing. You're going to have a physical. So you will be taking a physical and have a drug test as well. And you have to do that. So once you get all those documents, those are the things that you need to work on ships. So like I said before, you can go, there's a union called the Seafarers International Union. I know that you can enter that union right off the street. You don't have to go to any training, but like I said, you'll be a C seniority, the lowest seniority, and you can't be picky. You might wait. I don't know. You can do it though, as long as you have the required documents to sail. As far as training, that's the next topic. The schools. The Seafarers International Union has a school. It's the Seafarers Harry Lundeberg School of Seamanship, which is located in Southern Maryland, in Piney Point, Maryland. And that was established in 1967 by Paul Hall. And if you go to the seafarers.org website, seafarers.org, and once again, I'll put all these in the description section of the video. You don't have to stop now and write it down. I want to make this easy. Go to seafarers.org, hit training and careers. You'll see all about their training program. If you're a young person, I highly recommend this. You will get a lot of classes and things. It will make it so much better for you if you just do it that way. If you have the time, at least a year, but if you're young, and you can dedicate a year of your time, it's a good investment. I highly recommend doing that. Like right here in Virginia, there's a lot of local schools too, where you can take classes. I'll mention just the one here. I'm in Virginia Beach, Mid-Atlantic Maritime Academy, which started in 2007. It's a relatively newer school, but it's right here in Virginia. You can go there and take classes. And there is another option. You can go to what we call MSC, that's Military Sealift Command. And the website I will put in the description section, but it is sealiftcommand.com. I will put that in the description section as well. And these are ships that are owned by the U.S. Navy, but they're civilian crewed, by people like me. We're not Navy or military, but we're civilian crewed. but these are naval ships. This is a whole separate thing. This is not part of a union. The Seafarers International Union is obviously a union. And there are a couple other unions that you can belong to as well. But as far as training, you can go to the school at the Seafarers School, and that's seafarers.org. I will link that in the description. And you go training and careers after you click that, and then you will see all about their program. It's a good program, very good way to enter the industry and get everything you need. I believe they'll help you get your Merchant Mariner credential too. You just have a physical drug screen, TWIC, and passport, and I think you're good. But you call them, you go on website, and you find out even more information when you inquire about it through their website, and you can also call them and they'll give you more information. It's that simple. I highly recommend that if you don't want to go to a 4-year school, which you can. But there's some other unions also, that don't require 4-year degrees, which include, like I said, the SIU, Seafarers International Union. And then there's another one called the SUP, mostly like out on the West Coast. That's a sailors.org, and that's the Sailors Union of the Pacific. Mostly on the West, these are West Coast unions. And there's another one, the Marine Firemen's Union, which we call MFOW, established in 1883. And the SUP was established in 1885. These are very old unions, but in origination. But they're West Coast. You can also join those unions and sail as well. SIU is a big one. But the Marine Firemen's Union, the MFOW, is an affiliate of the Seafarers International Union. So there's some other ways you can start. You can go to the school, like I mentioned, through the Seafarers International Union training program. Or there's some 4-year universities. If you want to get a degree in this, if you know this is what you want to do, and you just want to get a degree in it, you can go to 4-year universities. And I'll mention a couple of them. I wrote them down here. There's a California State University Maritime Academy, established in 1929. This is obviously on the West Coast in California, Vallejo, California. And I believe it's the only maritime academy like this on the West Coast. Maritime Academy College. Mass Maritime is another very popular one, established in 1891. It's in Buzzards Bay, Massachusetts. Website I will put in the description section, but it's maritime.edu. Maine Maritime is established in 1941, Maritime School. It's in Castine, Maine, and that's mainemaritime.edu. I'll put it in the description. United States Merchant Marine Academy, which is what we call Kings Point. You guys may have heard of that, or KP. That's www.usmma.edu. Established in 1943, and it's located in New York. Most of the cadets I work with on the ship are 100% of the time from Kings Point. Worked with a lot of those guys. So you can go to that school as well. There's also the Maritime College, State of New York, SUNY, established in 1874. It's in Throgs Neck, New York. SUNY Maritime, SUNY Maritime.org. It'll also be in the description section. That's a few examples of the bigger, more well-known maritime colleges that you can go to. And again, you will have a 4-year degree, whether you want to take as a maid or a licensed engineer. All right, guys, now as far as employment, I'm mentioning the different unions and stuff. You can work for a lot of examples anyway. Unions for if you have a 4-year degree, or unions for entry level and different rating levels and stuff. Different unions that you can belong to. But guys, there's also other jobs. The point of this video is how to become a merchant mariner, but there are also many other opportunities for jobs in the maritime industry, inland waters, tugboats, supply vessels in the Gulf of Mexico, you name it, ferry boats, you name it, cruise ships. I mean, there's just a lot of other opportunities as well. So I just want you to be mindful of that. But the main topic of this video is how to become a merchant mariner. So yeah. So just keep that in mind as well. But there are many opportunities for jobs in this industry. And so we'll mention another topic. There are 3 departments in the merchant mariner ships. The steward department, which is the kitchen. Those are the people who cook, prepare the food. and do all those things. If you're interested in that, you don't need a license or go to a 4-year school for that. You can just go to the Seafarers School and train for that. And then you become a member of the union, and then you work in that department. However, for deck and engine, if you want to go to a 4-year school, you can do that for either side. But you choose which department you want to be in. I'm in the engine department, and the deck department, they work on the deck, they tie up the ship, they steer the ship, they have watches where they steer the ship, and some of them are just day workers outside. They work maintenance on the ship. And obviously they tie up and untie the ship and do a lot of things like that. Whereas the engine department is in the engine department, in the engineering space, doing maintenance, and machinery work like that. So if that's what you're interested in, you want to go in the engine department. So, but anyway, so yeah, you can go to the 4-year schools and study either one on the deck or the engine side. But yeah, you can, or you can just go in the galley department, the steward department. You don't need to go to one of those. You can go to the Seafarers International Union School, or you can come off the street too and take an entry-level job. But you will still need to get those required documents that I talked about, which once again, those documents, you're going to need a passport, U.S. passport, a TWIC, TWIC card. You're going to need your merchant mariner credential, and you're going to have a drug test and a physical. You're going to have all these things. And then you would be able to call, if you wanted to just go in that way, get all your docs, go in off the street and keep your fingers crossed and just do what you got to do. You can call the union and whatever one is closest to where you live and get more information from them. Or you can call, go on their website, which I'm going to put in the description section, seafarers.org, and you can call and ask more information as well. And also online, there's a lot of places like Indeed.com, INDEED.com. I found lots of good stuff on there for people who are looking to enter the industry, a lot of information. And so you can do it that way too. So that's what you guys have to do. You need to, 1, decide what department you want to be in. I would say number 2, along with number 1, start applying for your documents, because your documents, you just need to get those regardless of what department. So get your, passport, start applying for your documents, and then figure out what department that you want to go into, and then choose the appropriate training, whether it be a 4-year school, Seafarers training program, which is a good program, or just go off the street. And if you go off the street with the Seafarers Union, International Union, I believe you need to get 90 days in 2 consecutive years, and then you'll become a B seniority, which makes it a lot easier. But like I said, that is the harder way to do it. But right now there's a shortage of people. So, a lot of jobs are sitting on the board longer. So right now is probably the best timing if you want to do it that way. It's a really, really good time for that. So anyway, guys, I hope this video is really helpful. And again, the big website, I would say bookmark it right now. Go and search the National Maritime Center website and bookmark that. Because, example, you go and apply for your credential or your TWIC. You have to pay for the document. The preferred way is through pay.gov. You go on pay.gov, you choose what you're paying for, pay for it, and then you print the receipt out, keep it for your records. And also, when you send it in, your application for said document, you're going to send that in as well, showing that you've already paid for it. That's your proof. And then you're going to send your physical and whatever else. They're going to have it right on that website. They'll tell you what to send in. There's a checklist for, different documents, merchant credential. There'll be a checklist that tells you exactly what you need to send in. Like when I put in for mine, I send in a copy of my physical, my complete physical, Coast Guard physical. I show that I'm clear, either a drug test or a letter from my company showing that I'm under the random policy. I show a copy of my TWIC and stuff like that, and the application, and all these things. And just to double check, it'll be on that website what you need to send, a checklist. And you can always call them. I've called them many times. I've been doing this for a good while, and sometimes I'm not sure. I forget, do I need to send this or not? I'll call the National Maritime Center, and they're more than happy to help every time I've called them. So that's basically what you got to do. Get your docs, decide which department you want to go into. If you want to train at the training school, or if you want to go to a 4-year school or off the street, and then you get those documents and just go for it. And that's, I could talk for 2 hours about this, but I don't want to confuse you guys. I want to make it simple. I'm just streamlining it. This is the basic thing. I've mentioned schools that you can go to, and there are maritime training schools probably in every state. You can also search for those as well. But if you just want a career and not go to a 4-year school, I highly recommend the Seafarers International Union training program. You're going to get everything you need and come out and have a good career with maybe a year of time you got to dedicate to it. So, but you can choose whatever way you want. You guys are always welcome to pop on here. If I'm at sea, I don't always get the comments right away, but I've helped a lot of people, answered a lot of questions. I'm more than happy to help any way I can. If I don't know, I can help you find that information the best I can, especially when I'm home. I check my comments a lot. So I hope this video was helpful to you guys. And if you do choose to go into it, I wish you all the best and looking forward to a new career. And go, like I said, and check out the video that I posted, I think in the last year, the pros and cons of being a merchant mariner. I think it's in the Merchant Mariner Self-Help Topics or whatever I titled that playlist, but it's in there that I posted. And check that out and see, listen to what I say and see if you think it's good for you. Don't just jump into any career without knowing a little bit about it. This industry is a lot of pros, a lot of cons, depends on who you are. It's not for everybody, You might be at sea for 3-4 months at a time, and, you have to be prepared for that, but there are pros and cons just like with any career. So I wish you guys all the best in whatever you choose to do. And I hope this was helpful as a mechanism to get you started in the right direction. And you can always call people. You can call the National Maritime Center. You can send me a text message, here or a message. And I'll try the best I can to help you guys as well. And I wish you guys all the best. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. If it was, please give it a thumbs up. And if you guys haven't already subscribed to this channel, please subscribe, because I post videos, marine related topics when I work on the ships and things like that all the time. So love to have you guys here on the channel, and I will see you guys on the next video.